Local markets closed in the green yesterday. Well, that's a positive, following domestic corporate earnings results. Now, the rand, on the other hand, weakened against the US dollar on the back of US factory orders dropping in January. This is amid a decline in civilian aircraft demand. Well, Chantal Marx is head of equity research at FNB Wealth and Investments. She joins us now to dissect the markets in early trade. Chantal, good morning to you, and thanks indeed for your time. It is the morning after the long-awaited cabinet reshuffle. Are the markets liking this new team?
It seems as if the market is not really reacting to the new team. And I guess if you kind of pick up on what political analysts are saying out there, it was a weak cabinet reshuffle.
Ouch.
Not a lot in terms of surprising new faces or a really big shift in terms of who gets what portfolio. So because of that, we didn't really see a major market reaction. At the time, we did see a slight weakening of the rand. This morning, the rand is also weaker, but I see that commodity producers generally have their currencies under pressure because commodity prices have come down. So I don't necessarily think that it's a function of a negative reaction to the cabinet reshuffle.
Yeah.
If we look at the JSE also, no real reaction this morning.
Let's look at then Stats SA, because that is one big development to watch today. They're due to announce the latest GDP figures. Now, which sectors will you be keenly watching? And there are many sectors, of course, that could register some growth, but which ones do you think are going to give us that all-important smile?
So I'll start with the ones that will give us the frown. Manufacturing and mining, we have seen from high-frequency data that it was a very weak fourth quarter. Load shedding definitely playing a role within the manufacturing space, to a lesser extent in mining, and mining really being hampered by weakness in South Africa's logistics infrastructure. Transnet being the main operator there that's really been struggling to get minerals to port. On the plus side, we should see a decent performance from the services sector. Financial services, if you look at bank results, still performed quite well and would have been decent contributors to GDP growth in the fourth quarter. And then we've got the stuff in between. And I think that is mostly the consumer-facing sectors, retail, trade, I think, also coming under a little bit of pressure. Wholesalers also not performing particularly well because of that.
Let me put you on the spot. Are you expecting a contraction?
Yes, we are expecting a contraction. The contraction is probably not going to be as big as expected, but there will definitely be a contraction just because of the importance of sectors like mining and manufacturing to the GDP growth number.
Sure. All right, let's talk company news. Nedbank publishing its results for the year which ended on the 31st of December 2022. How did they perform?
So they performed very well. It was a really decent set of results. We saw headline earnings per share, which is basically their profitability, increasing by 20%. They did guide the market on that though, so that wasn't where the surprise lay. We did see management say that they're going to spend 5 billion rand on buying back their own shares, as well as an odd-lot offer, so they buy out smaller shareholders, and that should be supportive of earnings per share growth going forward, just because there will be less shares in issue. In terms of the underlying operational performance, I think it was decent. Revenue growth was pretty strong. Perhaps some of the weaker areas would have been the credit performance, as well as the cost to income ratio not coming down by as much as they expected.
Yeah, let's conclude the conversation with Sea Harvest, also posting financial results for the year, which ended on the 31st of December 2022. Help us make sense of their performance.
So with Sea Harvest, we had exactly the same issues that we had with INJ that reported within the AVI group yesterday. They saw really good demand for their products. They managed to push through really nice price increases, so their revenue growth was pretty strong. But unfortunately, input cost pressures and just general cost pressures really resulted in their profitability deteriorating. So, for example, diesel costs for sea harvest increased substantially over the period in order for them to firstly operate their trawlers and then secondly keep their product cold. They have to actually employ the help of diesel generators because of load shedding. Just as a side note, I mean, we've had load shedding mentioned as an impact on profitability by almost every company that's reported results so far this week. Just this morning, Nedbank mentioned it, ShopRite mentioned it, Impact mentioned it, and Sea Harvest as well.
Yep. Well, that's the job of the new electricity minister to sort that out for us. Thank you very much, Chantal Marx. She is head of equity research at F&B Wealth and Investments. I wonder what that does to the president, who is hopefully listening. Every company reporting results, they made mention of the issue of load shedding impacting on their profitability.